So we need to see Trump break down in real time. I'm sure most of y'all saw this clip with the tattoos, but supposedly that's not the only crazy thing that happens in this interview. So I think everybody is saying this is probably like the worst interview he's ever done. And based off that clip alone, I'd be inclined to believe it, because this nigga is losing his mind in real time, bro.
Earlier today, I sat down with President Trump in the Oval Office for an exclusive interview.
What's happening, bro?
100th
bro,
day.
Hey, look, I know that they want to get rid of people, but this shit is kind of weird. Like they're not glorifying criminals, but this is weird. They have signs outside of the fucking White House, or what? I don't know what building this is. I ain't been to that part of DC. Excuse me. The fucking arrested and putting the crime that they committed underneath it. This is weird. This is fucking weird. Cool, you arrested criminals. Like, you're finna put you're gonna take the time and money to make signs to put on the lawn to show people who you arrested. And it looks like it's all fucking brown people. I could be wrong because it's not the best quality, but it looks like brown people. It looks that way.
Of his second term.
Maybe that guy right here to his right. Does it say, look like it say suicide? It could say homicide. Is white, but
to ask him some wide-ranging questions about the issues that most concern so many Americans. We talked about the economy and his tariffs. We talked about immigration and those deportations. And you can see here the White House has put up some posters that they say show some of the violent criminals that have so far been deported. We talked about a lot more as well. The president's answers were provocative, at times combative, and always he was strong in his convictions about his policies. But before we get to the interview, we begin tonight.
It's kind of like, of course, we don't want people coming from other countries that commit crime over here. Nobody wants that. Nobody's advocating for that. But like, are you treating people in the country with this? Are you giving them this much attention for committing crimes? They're a problem too. They're more of a problem because they do it more and they're more inclined to do it. Yeah, J-Mac, where's all the Jan 6 people? Why y'all ain't got them on the line? Calling them patriots and shit.
It's special. 100 days into your second term. So what's the one thing, just one thing, that you think is the most significant thing you've done so far in these 100 days?
Well, I think maybe the border is the most significant because our country was really going bad. They were allowing people to come in from prisons, as you know, and you've heard me say it, but you've heard a lot of people say it. Prisons, mental institutions, gang members, murderers. We had many murders, 11,888, they think. Some murdered more than one person. So yeah.
I don't get how he doesn't have this type of energy for people. Like I said, it's a problem if people come over here and commit crimes, but it's more people committing crimes that's American-born citizens, bro. It's way more.
Murderers coming in, you had everybody coming in.
Oh, I'm sure of that, Lucas. He don't know shit. I don't even think Trump knows each branch of government and what they do.
Emptying their prisons into our country. And now it's totally closed down. And you've seen just yesterday, they announced 99.9%. Nobody thought that could happen.
Oh, that makes it even worse.
Very quickly. And I think that's very significant. But we're doing other things that are very significant. The results will take a little bit longer because it's one of those, you know, it's complicated. It's many years of trading abuse. We've been abused by other countries for years and years. They laughed at us. They thought we were stupid people, and we're fixing it. And I think that's going to be very, very important. But
I will say, if he was trying to clean up the border and people really cared about that, he did it. I'll give him credit for that. Personally, I don't give a fuck about that border shit. Like, that's not a issue that I voted on or I care about, because I think they just need to fix the asylum process. Like, I don't give a fuck about people coming here. We need people. You want to create jobs, but then you want to keep people out of this country. You're not incentivizing people to create families, and there's no work shortage. It's a labor shortage. So let people in to come and work, y'all, and fix the asylum process. Like, I don't give a fuck that people want to come to this country to make their life better. So
You have a lot of ground to cover.
yeah, I would really say that the border is so important. You know, just
And
can't
we'll get there.
let that
Immigration,
happen.
huge.
Yeah.
And we're going to get there. But I want to start
Sure.
with the economy, the number one issue for so many people, for just about everybody. It's
that
one of
you're
the
ruining.
main reasons that you're back in this office. And now we have this trade war with China that Moody's and other analysts say is going to cost American families thousands of more dollars per year. And there is a lot of concern out there. People are worried, even some people who voted for you saying, I didn't sign up for this. So how do you answer those concerns?
Well, they did sign up for it, actually, and this is what I campaigned on. I said that we've been abused by other countries at levels that nobody's ever seen before. We were losing $3 to $5 billion a day on trade. We were losing $1.5 trillion to $2 trillion a year, not sustainable. They were taking advantage of us like they've never. I could have left it that way, and
Nap,
at
I
some
think it's
point
worse that
there would have
people
been an implosion like
don't see
nobody's
him
ever
for
seen.
who he is. That's worse.
But I said, no, we have to fix it. I've wanted to do this for many years. You know, I had the best economy during my first term. We had a tremendous economy, tremendous success, and we did tremendous numbers of tariffs on. We took in a lot of money from tariffs. China in particular, hundreds of.
I love how he leaves out the fact that he had to bail out the soybean farmers, like, I think it was billions of dollars because of the fucking tariffs that ruined them. He had to bail them out. Like, why does he pretend? I'm not asking why. This is a rhetorical why, because we all know he's just a prolific liar. To just pretend like shit we wasn't there for didn't happen. Shit we was there for didn't happen. Nigga, tariffs didn't do anything successful besides raise the prices of the things you put them on. They didn't create any industries, and you had to bail out people you ruined with their tariffs. $4 billion. I didn't know the number. Thank you. $4 billion to the soybean farmers. You just acting like that didn't happen. He never addresses it.
Billions of dollars in tariffs. We had no inflation, as you know. We had an incredible economy. We're given credit for a great economy. But I said we have to fix this, otherwise it's just not self-sustaining.
But one of the things you ran on was you'd said you'd bring prices down on day one, and that it would happen fast, and that it would happen fast.
I have.
Most economists will tell you that tariffs will raise prices. So don't your tariffs cut against that promise you made to bring prices down?
No, because I had massive tariffs on China, if you remember, in my first term, and we had essentially no inflation, like around 1% inflation, which is like a perfect number. And then when Biden took over, it went through the roof. It went to probably the worst inflation we've ever had.
When Biden took over, why does I keep saying why, y'all. This is rhetorical, but COVID. It just when Biden took over. So Biden hit the inflation button when he got in office. Stop it.
I mean, we had an inflation nightmare. Now, if you look at what's happening now, we're only there for 100 days, as you say. And in 100 days, we took over. We had bad inflation for 4 years, for 2 years especially 2 years of his administration. I would say record-setting, like we.
Hey, Stephen Miller is one evil motherfucker. Like he's like Voldemort, bro. Like that motherfucker crazy, bro.
Never seen. They say 48 years, the worst in 48 years. I say it was much worse than that. Yeah. Right. So now, if you look at what's happened, energy is down. Gasoline hit $1.98 in a few states.
That's a full states. He didn't even say like small cities. 190. I bet. Hell, first of all, I've been keeping track of gas, and I vividly remember right before Joe left, that shit was like 280, 290 something where I'm at. Now the minimum I'm seeing is 319. So, and I'm not saying this is everybody's story, but I know that before Joe left, gas was 290 something. You're not bringing gas down. You didn't do anything to make these things come down. Why is he saying that?
During the last couple of days, it was $3.50 and $4 and $4.50.
Well, no, it wasn't. When the fuck, bro, at the worst points of inflation, that wasn't Biden's fault inherently? Come on.
But gasoline is way down.
No, it's not.
When I took over, you remember the big thing with eggs. They hit me the first week. Eggs. Like it was my.
Oh, I forgot, y'all. I said this. Oh my God, I told myself I was going to do this. We're going to do a Biden counter. Okay? So every time he mentions Biden, we're going to count it. Okay? I forgot. I wanted to do this. Damn, I don't know how many. Well, he got away with however many times he did it. He got away with it so far. We gonna start fresh. All right? So every time this motherfucker mentions Biden, we're gonna count it and see how many times he can say Biden's name in this 40-minute interview. Oh man, I wish I forgot to start it at the beginning. But he's already had 100 days, and I just wonder how long he could keep this up. But we're gonna count it. We're gonna count it.
My fault. I said, I didn't cause this problem. This problem was caused by Biden. What's the problem with eggs?
There
and
you
they
go.
said they've doubled.
I'll give them one.
Well, eggs are down 87% since I got involved.
A lot of that is
and
bird
by the way,
flu,
and there were
right?
plenty of eggs for Easter.
And that too, like, just say it was the bird flu and it's not your fault and keep it moving. Like, I'm confused because at first I thought the conversation about eggs was just a representation of prices of food, period. I never took it literal until the bird flu came. And that's not Biden or Trump's fault. Just say the bird flu made the eggs go up. That's it. Keep it pushing. But now it seems like we're literally just talking about eggs. But I thought eggs was just a stand-in for the price of food. Period.
Which we just went.
He said it again. I had the one because I just pressed it, but I know he said it at least once. So we'll just say two. Yeah, at first eggs was symbolic, and now it's just literally eggs, but the eggs themselves was just about the bird flu, which is none of y'all fault.
Through. There were plenty of eggs for Easter. They were saying you won't have enough eggs for Easter.
Yeah, I remember before COVID, I love eggs. So I was buying 64 cartons. I was buying 64. That shit was like $7. And I remember when COVID was bad, that shit went up to like $14 and I wanted to cry. And now I think it's like 11 or something like that.
We ended.
I haven't looked in a while.
My secretary did a fantastic job on eggs. Groceries are down. Everything's down.
Okay.
Interest rates are the same. Interest rates should be down, but we have a Federal Reserve that wants to be stubborn. They want to be cute.
We'll get to that. You said something a couple weeks ago that struck me. You said concerning the tariffs, which economists say are going to raise prices. You said, quote, hang tough. It won't be easy.
I was right.
You said that to
11.
American people. Is that what Americans should expect?
That shit was
Hard
$7
times.
before
I said
COVID.
that during my
$7,
campaign.
$8.
Look, we won a
Oh, no, you
campaign
said the 18 count, so
bought
that
a
means the
lot.
64
We won all
probably high
7
as fuck.
swing
I haven't
states.
looked.
We won the popular vote by
We
a
ain't
lot.
bought 'em in a while.
You know, we had a tremendous campaign. I said all these things during my campaign. I said, you're going to have a transition period. We've been ripped off by every country all over the world. They're laughing at us. They thought we were stupid people, and we were. And I said, that's not going to happen. We're not
But
going to
hard
let that
times?
happen.
Hard times are ahead?
I don't think so. I
Hang
think
tough.
great times are ahead. Look,
He can't even admit that hard times are ahead when it's clearly in sight. Like, how you think he's talking about some led by stupid people and like he can't even, acknowledge what's directly happening in front of us, even though we're here right now and everybody knows it. He's just denying it.
since I came in, gasoline is down, groceries are down, egg prices are down.
No.
Many things
You're
are down,
lying.
just about everything. You know, you don't have the drop in fuel and energy and oil like we did. I took it from maybe $3.20, maybe more than that,
agonizing.
down into a much lower number. When you have that kind of a drop, you're not going to have inflation.
Not now, but it's the tariffs, right? We still have 145% tariffs on
why
China.
is it
Your
that-
Treasury Secretary said we basically have an embargo on China.
Look, you're
and
trying
that-
to say something's going to happen,
no,
Terry.
No, okay, well,
nothing's going to happen.
You know business. I
Terry,
want to ask you.
Terry, I do know business.
Yes,
and
so 145% tariffs on China, and that is
That's good.
basically
That's
an
good.
embargo.
They deserve it.
It'll raise prices on
They
everything
deserve
from
it.
electronics to clothing to building houses.
You
Oh
don't
my
know that.
God,
You don't know
bro.
whether or not China's going
That's
to eat it.
mathematics.
That's why we ain't
China
bought 'em.
probably will eat those tariffs, but at 145, they basically can't do much business with the United States. And they were making from us $1 trillion a year. They were ripping us off.
Making from us. Why is he, bro? Shit is so aggravating. He's acting like we're getting done wrong. People outsource because it's cheaper. They get something out of it too, which in turn we get something out of it. Our stuff can be cheap because they can get it from China. Stop pretending like if we do it all in America, it'll still cost the same or less. If that was to ever happen, it can't happen with you making tariffs overnight and not targeted without a plan to increase the production of whatever's in America. Stop just saying shit.
Off like nobody's ever ripped us off. And by the way, we have other countries that were just as bad. If you look at the European Union, it was terrible what they've done to us. Every country, almost every country in the world was ripping us off. They're not doing
Ripping us off. He's pretending as if the trade deficit is like a profit or something, and they're taking our profits or something. That's just fucking stupid.
I want you to think about the boom that this country has had in small businesses, mom and pop Etsy stores, small businesses that
Really?
became
They
big
haven't had a
businesses.
boom because of inflation.
Well,
the boom
what
the
they've
boom
done
was inflationary boom. The people were wiped out with inflation. I
Yes.
mean, you read the news, you
Yes.
do the business
now
stuff,
they
I
face,
assume.
Now, a lot of them built those businesses on the trading model.
Yeah, and they're gonna
before
make
you.
more money
They
now.
sourced their products overseas,
They're gonna
and
make more
now
money
they're
now.
looking at an extinction
I've been
event.
here.
It's a disaster for them.
I've been here for 3 months. I've taken a trade deficit down to a number that's very, very starting to get really good. I just got here.
But what the fuck? Who was complaining about? I mean, I know that some people have an issue with trade with China, and that's fine, and we could talk about it, but this ain't the way to go about it. So stop I brought it down, bro, and at what cost? How about you talk about, I brought it down. So what does that mean? What's finna happen right now? You talking about this future plan of 50, 40 years from now that you can't even speak on how to get there, and what's gonna happen right now?
We had a country that it was not sustainable. What Biden
There
did
is
to
no
this
trade.
country between.
Wait, did he just say
We
Biden?
had a country that it was not sustainable. What Biden did to this country between the open borders where criminals poured into our country, between every country in the world ripping us off on trade, it was not sustainable.
And let's not forget that Trump is the one that made the trade deals in his first term. Let's just pretend like that never happened. I don't think he can read either. I don't think he can read. Let's not forget that's the thing too. That he made the trade deals with these countries.
So your message to those small businesses.
Okay, to be fair, it wasn't China. He made it with, the Canada and Mexico. But he was complaining about them too.
Who are saying we can't live a month, 2 months with these tariffs. Apple got a big deal.
Right.
Is there something for them?
No, not only Apple. We've got $7 to $8 trillion being invested in our country in 2 months.
What does that have to do with Americans making it? Like he just said, some people can't make it too much. Like he said, Apple is going to be fine no matter what happens. What about these small businesses that order shit from China that they cannot order or afford? Literally, motherfuckers is talking right now about how they're running out of inventory and cannot afford to buy it. Or if they do, they have to up their prices, which still means they don't sell anything and they're stuck with shit that they paid more money for than they did before.
Biden didn't have that over a year. I mean, if you look at Biden, nobody was really investing in this country. Everybody was ripping off our country. Apple's putting up $500 billion, but that's only one of many companies. Companies are flooding into our country right now.
So you're
And then what? Who's gonna be if inflation is high and we're in a recession? Companies flooding into the country means shit to me. What am I gonna do if I can't afford to buy shit? Or shit I need ain't getting stocked in shelves? Like he said, motherfuckers have to survive everything you're talking about, bro.
The tariffs is everything's going to be hunky-dory.
Everything's going to be just fine. It wouldn't have been if I didn't do this. I had a choice. I could leave
How? When the economy was on an upward trajectory when you got in and then you just flipped it 180. The economy was perfect. I mean, let me not say perfect, but everything was on the up. All the major what's the word? Targets of the economy, everything you would look at, GDP, unemployment, you know what I'm saying? Trade, like everything, energy, everything was good. Everything was fine. On an upward trajectory, the stock market, everything. And now all of that has gone to shit. And you sitting here talking about everything was bad. You just had to make that up. I think this is what happened. I think Trump literally had to, as he always does, create an issue so he can fix it to pretend like everything was great. We ain't forgot that when you got in, all of the macro numbers that you could look at for this economy was up and great. I still have the screenshots of all that shit. So what you did was ruin all of it to now pretend like when there's hopefully some type of stability at a point in the future, you can say, I fixed everything and act like you didn't ruin it. Bro, the fact that the economy was good, he could have did the stupid shit he always does and rode the wave of my economy was good like he did Obama and did nothing. And if he really wanted to do this tariff shit, make a plan and implement it in 2 years. Like, make a plan that works. Incentivize people to come to America. Give tax breaks to people that build in America. Start investing in the auto industry or the steel industry or the lumber industry. Invest in it like Biden did with the CHIPS Act. Invest in those industries, build them, and then you tariff later. That's more understandable of a plan that people wouldn't be down your throat about, even if they didn't like it. You would get pushback, of course, but that's more understandable. You just fuck shit up and then be like, I could fix it.
Nice, easy time, but I think ultimately you would have had an implosion.
Make the fire and come in like a hero. Exactly.
Had inflation that was worse than they've ever had it before. You don't had inflation. Ultimately, you would have had an implosion. Our country had inflation that was worse than they've ever had it before.
Every country had inflation the worst, and ours handled it the best.
You don't mention that. Why don't you mention that? We had the worst inflation probably in the history of our country.
And it was because of COVID, not because of Joe Biden.
People say 48 years. Probably in the history of our country, we had the worst inflation. And people were dying over the inflation. You know that. Now the grocery prices are coming down, the energy prices are coming down, gasoline's coming down. It's all heading in the right direction.
This just doesn't feel like it should be real life, bro. How do people listen to this man and just be like, yes, I want him to represent my country? This is the weirdest shit ever. It's so fucking strange to me how, like, you're proud of this man. You want him to be the face of your country, and he sits there like a bumbling idiot lying about everything.
Let's move on to immigration.
Coming up.
It is an undeniable fact that illegal crossings at the southern border have plummeted, a staggering decline. But there are questions about your methods.
President Trump, the first 100 days, continues.
Okay, let's move on to immigration. And as you said, it is an undeniable fact that illegal crossings at the southern border have plummeted, a staggering decline. But there are questions about your methods. And so I want to ask
About my message?
Methods, about your methods, how you're accomplishing
They seem to
this.
work.
No.
Do you acknowledge that under our law, every single person who gets deported gets a hearing first to make their case?
Well, are we talking about people that are citizens of our country or not?
No, you're not deporting citizens at this point.
Well, let me ask you, did they get hearings when Biden allowed 21 million, because I think the number is 20 million people to flow into our country? You had 21 million people that came into our country through a stupid open border, and they were prisoners, and they were people that you don't want in many cases.
I just love how he keeps pretending like all of the undocumented and documented immigrants were criminals. Like, I just love how he just really, he wants you, the way he words it, he pretends like whatever the number, I don't think it's 20 million undocumented people. I think that the asylum system is broken and a lot of people come through asylum, which needs to be fixed. And he says it as if 20 million criminals walked through the border undocumented and just got to chill. And that's not the case at all. Like, he doesn't say like 20 million people came and about 1% or less than 1% of them are criminals. Of course, he can't say that because then people I'll be like, oh, well, what we worried about? You know what I'm saying? PTJ was good.
In our country, right? They came from all over the world. They came from the Congo. They came from South. They came from all over the world. We're talking about some of the roughest countries in the world. They had here, including terrorists, by the way. Now,
but
did we give them a hearing when they came in?
Well,
that's not how, what the fuck is that argument? What is that argument? Did they have a hearing when they came in? A lot of them did, yes, through the broken asylum system. Yes, a lot of them had got to plead their case to a broken asylum system that they came through legally. The ones that didn't, it don't fucking matter, but it still does not mean you just get to ship them off and then that's on that, ship them off to a prison.
The law requires that every single person who is going to be deported gets a hearing first.
Well,
you acknowledge that?
I'll have to
Yeah, I
ask
know, right,
the
Ray
lawyers
Johnson.
about that. All I can say is this. If you're going to have 21 million people, and if we have to get a lot of them out because they're criminals, we're going to have to act fast. We can't. Do you think we can give
We have to act-
21 million
Wait,
trials?
I just want y'all, we finna listen. The man is justifying breaking the law. Like, he's literally saying, I don't feel like it is too many people, so fuck it. Like, that's what he's saying right now.
We're going to have to act fast. We can't. Do you think we can give 21 million trials?
It's not 21 million undocumented people, bro. If it's 21 million undocumented, how the fuck did you get the number?
Say each trial takes 2 weeks. Is that what you want us to do?
The law
Give
is the
21
law,
million?
sir. The law is the law, and you are
the law
sworn
doesn't
to
say anything
uphold it.
about trials.
No, not trials, hearings. I said
These
hearings.
people came in, they're not citizens. They came in illegally. They came into our country illegally.
And
We
there's-
have to get them out.
There's a legal process for that.
I can't, sure, and we follow the legal process. I can't have a trial, a major trial
I'm not
for
saying
every
major.
person that came in illegally. We have thousands of murderers that came in. They're going to murder people. They already have murdered people in our country.
Right, so
I just, bro, how do you feel about the Americans that tried to murder you? Why, how do you feel about that? You're right, exactly. You keep saying trial and it is a hearing. How strongly do you feel about the people that murdered you, that tried to murder you? How strongly do you feel about the people that said hang Mike Pence? How strongly do you feel about the people that attacked police officers that you claim to care about in the name of your lies? Like, come the fuck on.
We have to get them out,
they're
and we have
bad
to get them
guys,
out fast.
really bad guys. But in our country, even bad guys get due process, right?
If people come into our country illegally, there's a different standard. These are illegal. They came in illegally.
But they get due process.
They get due process.
Well, they get a process where we have to get them out. Yeah.
What?
Okay, let's talk about the Venezuela.
He just don't care. He does not care, bro. They get a process to go out, due process, and that means a hearing.
They're
And we have
bad
to get them
guys,
out fast.
really bad guys. But in our country, even bad guys get due process, right?
Hey, I
If
like this
people come
interviewer.
into our country illegally, there's a different standard. These are illegal. They came in illegally.
But they get due process.
Well, they get a process where we have to get them out. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the Venezuelans.
They get whatever my lawyers say.
Right. All right, let's talk about the Venezuelans. You deported more than 200 Venezuelans to that prison.
Bro, he's admitting to not giving a fuck about due process because it's hard. This is into the mind of Trump, just so we all on the same page. This is a look into the mind of Trump. Appreciate you, AJ Archilla. This is the mind of Trump. I'm going to come in and do executive order after executive order because it's easy. I don't care about working with Congress. I don't care about crafting bills. I don't care about compromise. I just want to do what I want to do. Okay, let's say Biden did let 20 million illegal immigrants come. Well, I don't give a fuck. I'm lazy. I don't want to do nothing. So just send everybody back without a hearing. Like, oh my God. Yeah, he's probably gonna talk shit about Terry after this. He's gonna be like, Terry is unprofessional and nobody likes ABC News and their fake news and all that shit. I like this interviewer because he's not letting stupid shit slide. He's giving him some pushback.
In El Salvador, you say they're violent, they're gang members, they're terrorists. Many of them don't have a criminal
are,
record
by the way.
at all.
Well,
But I want to.
I'm not so sure about that if you
wanna-
take a look.
I wanna
When
read you something
Excuse
as
me,
well.
when you look at those people, they were violent people. They were violent
who?
people.
But many of them don't have a criminal record
Go
at this
ahead.
point.
I don't-
So
I don't know.
I want
That's
to
what
read you
you say.
something. Well, it's based
Go
on
ahead.
their lawyer, what their lawyers
Go
have
ahead.
said. Okay.
Go ahead.
Joe Rogan said this. Joe Rogan, one of the leading podcasters, Trump supporter, about the deportation of Venezuelans. He said, quote, rounding up gang members and shipping them to El Salvador with no due process, he said it was dangerous, and added, quote, we got to be careful that we don't become monsters while we're fighting monsters.
I
Is
agree
Joe
with that.
Rogan right?
Oh, I agree with that 100%. Yeah.
How? Do you, motherfucker?
We want to be careful, and we are careful.
No,
We're
you're
doing
not. You're literally not being careful. Y'all admitted to sending somebody on accident.
Something that has to be done. We have a country that's very sick. Joe Biden, and it's not.
Ain't it crazy how a country's sick, but his approach is, go in with a sledgehammer. When somebody's sick, do you if somebody has a broken arm, do you put a sledgehammer to it? Or do you take your time to place it in the right place as you try to help it heal? You assess the problem and you approach it accordingly. Wait, he said Biden? I missed it.
We have a careful. We're doing something that has to be done. We have a country that's very sick. Joe Biden, and it's not him because I don't even think he knew what the hell was happening.
Thank you, I missed
But the people around him are vicious people, and what they've done to the country is unbelievable. They've allowed 21 million people to pour into our country. Many of these people are criminals. They've allowed you mentioned Venezuela, the jails of Venezuela to be emptied into the United States. Do you know Venezuela crime is way down? Way, way down. You know why? Because their criminals are now living happily in the United States of America, and we're getting them out. And I was elected to get them out, and we're getting them out.
Under the law.
And we're getting them out fast, and we're getting them out legally. Now, in some cases, we have judges. In some cases, they're radical left judges. What happened the other day where a judge was protecting a criminal was horrible.
Did he say
Is
Joe
what
Biden?
happened the other cases, we have judges. In some cases, they're
judges.
radical left judges. What
And
happened?
there you go. If a judge don't agree with him, they're radical left immediately. Like, stop, bro. Bro, he makes numbers up all the time. Every number he says he's making up. And like I said, how do you have undocumented people, but you have a number of them?
The other day where a judge was protecting a criminal was horrible. And I think she's got big problems,
Probably.
frankly.
I wanna
And
talk
there are a
about-
couple of them like that.
I wanna talk about one
Wait
man.
a minute.
Yep.
We have to be treated fairly by judges. And we're not being treated fairly by all judges.
Oh, that's a subject. So you're saying that you don't like some of the rulings, some of the court orders?
I think the rulings will be overturned, yeah.
All right, well, let me ask you about one man and one court order. Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He's the Salvadoran man who crossed into this country illegally, but who is under a protective order that he not be
I think he
sent
said
back
legally.
to El Salvador. Your government sent him back to El Salvador and acknowledged in court that was a mistake. And now the Supreme Court has upheld an order that you must return him facilitate his return to the United States. What are you doing to comply?
Well, the lawyer that said it was a mistake was here a long time, was not appointed by us.
So if they're appointed by you, they're correct? Give me a fucking break. Well, the lawyer that said it wasn't appointed by us, so fuck her. Like, come on, bro.
Should not have said that. Should not have said that. And
Why? Because it's true and it hurts your case? Oh my God. Yeah, like for him to act like he's so strong and triumphant, he is a perpetual victim. Everything is everybody's out to get me, like he can do no wrong. Even presidents that people think were great still got criticized. You don't take any criticism at all. You're the president. That comes with the gig, bro. Stop acting like you never do anything wrong or people can't disagree with you in good faith. People can disagree with you in good faith.
so you understand, the person that you're talking about, you're making this person sound, this is a MS-13 gang member,
None of that's
a tough
proven.
cookie, been in a
A
lot.
tough cookie. And then that's the thing. What about the fact that everybody that has committed crimes get a fucking case? Like, if he's such a terrible person, why aren't y'all willing to prove that in court? So shut everybody up. Shut us the fuck up. Get the man back. Put him through a court case since he's such a tough cookie that's committed all these crimes. Prove it. I would want to, bro, if motherfucker, y'all telling me I fucked up, hey, bring his ass back. Let me shut every single one of y'all up. I'm the president. El Salvador, send that nigga back, put him on trial, let me prove to everybody all the shit he's done and get him to back the fuck out. It's that simple. If they didn't go through the process, come in, why do they get deported? Why do process to deport them? Also, wouldn't all connections to MS-13 be enough to deport him? His own president don't want him free. No, just because you come, with that logic, AJ, that means if you commit any crime, you don't get a trial or a hearing. The logic isn't you do something wrong, so we do you wrong back. No, that's like saying, well, he killed him. Well, we think he killed him, so let's just put him in jail with no defense, nothing. That's not how it works. You come here illegally, you get a trial, you get sent back. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you've been here for 9 years and he violated a court order to keep him here. And it specifically said don't send him to El Salvador, which really means you can't send him nowhere. Like, he literally, Trump broke the law because legally that man wasn't supposed to be sent back. If he was to get sent back, they have to rescind that order that kept him. You know what I'm saying? He said get him out legally. Tron, you have to, I missed that part, bro. Yeah, bro, he was legally ordered to stay here, AJ. So, and like I said, just because somebody comes illegally, that doesn't, like I said, it's not like he came to the border and was told to go back as if he never entered. Any persons here is not, this isn't about just citizens. Any person here is owed due process, no matter what crime they committed. People have done way worse and get a hearing. People have done way worse, undoubtedly, that we know and seen on camera, and they get a hearing. But now, you cross the border, you create a family, you live here for 9 years just trying to escape persecution, and you get sent back to jail with not being proven to commit a crime. No, that's not cool. That's not cool. It's not about if dude is MS-13. Honestly, and being MS-13 itself isn't even a crime. It's not a crime to be in a gang. It's not, that doesn't prove you've done anything illegal. So, and it's not grounds to deport him in itself, because even under his whole Alien Enemies Act, that's supposed to be against Venezuela with TDA, which even that's some bullshit because we're not at war.
Lots of skirmishes, beat the hell out of his wife, and the wife was petrified to even talk about him, okay? This is not an innocent, wonderful gentleman from Maryland.
I'm not saying he's a good guy. It's about the rule of law. The order from the Supreme Court stands, sir.
Came into our country illegally.
You could get him back. There's a phone on this desk.
I could.
You could take it out.
Hey, this interviewer, G, he said you can get him back. It's a phone right here. You can call.
And with all the power of the presidency, you could call up the president of El Salvador and say, send him back right now.
And if he were the gentleman that you say he is, I would do that.
But the court has ordered.
Why does it matter if he's okay, in theory, I get the idea of if he's a good person. I get the idea in theory, but that's not how due process works, especially when the man was ordered to stay. He was ordered to stay. It would be different if he wasn't. You might have a little bit more leeway. The reason his couldn't be sent back was because of a specific gang that's no longer Venezuela. It's in LA. Officer Taylor does a better job explaining to me, but I do see your point. Even if that gang is gone, they still have to rescind the order for him to stay. That's the thing. They could have done that. They didn't. The order for him to not be sent to El Salvador was still in effect. The only way they could send him back is if they overturn it. They didn't do that. They can't. It's like saying like, well, that was a long time ago, so it doesn't matter. That's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm on probation for 5 years and I do something in the 5th year, you don't just be like, oh, that's old. No, you have to get it overturned. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just say like that was a long time ago. That's not how that works. And if that gang is gone, it should have been easier to prove.
To facilitate that.
I'm not the one making this decision. We have lawyers.
And Officer Tatum, I'm sure, ignored that part. I'm sure he ignored that part.
To do this.
But the buck stops in this office.
No. I follow the law. Do this. I'm not the one making this decision. We have lawyers that don't want to do this.
But the buck stops in this office.
No. I follow the law.
You're not following the law because that's why you sent him.
If I were the president that just wanted to do anything, I'd probably keep him right where he is.
Supreme Court says what the law.
He said if I was a president that wanted to do anything, I would keep him where he is. And that's exactly what he's doing. You just told on yourself. You just gave up the game. If I was a president that could do what he wants, I would keep him where he is. And that's exactly what you're doing, bro. I don't know about the Michael Jordan tattoo. I know about the gay hairdresser. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So I don't know about the Michael Jordan neck tattoo, but it's so much craziness going on. But I heard it's even more outside of these two, bro. yeah. Red Dragon, like, this is crazy.
With a president that just wanted to do anything, I follow the law. You want me to follow?
All these contradictions. I follow the law. You didn't follow the law because he was ordered to stay. You went against it.
The buck stops in this office.
No. I follow the law. You want me to follow the law? If I were the president that just wanted to do anything, I'd probably keep him right where he is.
Supreme Court.
Bro, you just can't make this shit up. Holy shit. After the Supreme Court told him to facilitate his return, he says, if I was the president to do what he want, I'll keep him there. And what's happening? He's not facilitating the return.
Says what the law is.
Listen, I was elected to take care of a problem. It was a unforced error that was made by a very incompetent man, a man that turned out to be incompetent, that you always said was wonderful, a great genius, right? And now you find out, all of the media now, they're saying what a mistake they made. A man who was grossly incompetent allowed...
I just love how he keeps calling Joe Biden incompetent, yet he got the most effective legislation passed in a while. For a four-term president, he got a lot of legislation through. And he overperformed. Whether you like Joe Biden or not, he overperformed. You can dislike every single policy he passed. He got them passed through Congress. He actually did the work of a president, working with Congress across both sides, and got a bunch of bipartisan bills passed. You don't have to agree with it, but he did it. Trump, you can't say the same. He doesn't work with people. You do EOs all day. They get overturned. You tank the economy. You handle COVID poorly, not putting COVID on you, but you didn't help the situation. And then you run around acting like you was the greatest president ever, and you didn't even do anything to change. Like, the stuff he did do wasn't nothing to effectively change the economy. I give Trump credit for I think it's called the Future Act, I think, with the HBCUs, even though he made it permanent. Obama did it. He made it permanent. Joe gave more. And I give him credit for Operation Warp Speed for the vaccine, which he can't even take credit for no more because his base thinks vaccines are the devil. You know what I'm saying? Y'all notice he never brings up COVID, the vaccine, even though that should be something he should be able to brag for the rest of his life about. For somebody that loves to brag, he knows that he cannot bring up Operation Warp Speed because his base doesn't believe in vaccines.
Us to have open borders where millions of people float in. I campaigned on that issue. I wouldn't say it was my number one issue, but it was pretty close.
Right up there.
I campaigned on that issue. I've done an amazing job. I have closed borders. He said you couldn't do it. You wouldn't be able to do it. It would never happen. Well, it happened, and it happened very quickly. Wait a minute. When we have criminals, murderers, criminals
Lucas, you got the names for them?
in this country, we have to get them out, and we're doing it.
By law.
And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS.
PTJ, low key, that would below me. You're right, because I feel like it's like if it happened again, it's like, we can't do a vaccine. They give you autism. Oh, God.
There's a dispute
Well,
over that.
wait a minute. He had MS-13.
Wait, oh, shit, here it goes.
There's a dispute over
And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute
Well,
over that.
wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshop.
Bro, I don't want to hear anything about Joe's cognition anymore. If you support Trump, you cannot utter a single word about Joe's mental capacity. Period. Because if you brought Joe Biden on right now and showed him that fucking picture, and to say, Joe, do you think that MS-13 is tattooed on his hand? He would say, no. It looks like they got typed over it in Times New Roman. This motherfucker is arguing with the interviewer that he literally had MS-13. For those that don't know, I'm going to pull it up. I don't know if everybody knows. Trump held up this picture because they imposed MS-13 as a reference. Shit, I don't want to look at a video. As a reference to the symbols on his tattoo, trying to prove that it stands for MS-13. It's clear as day that that's not actually on his fingers. It's supposed to represent what those tattoos mean according to them. This motherfucker is arguing that MS-13 is actually on his hands and believes it was there.
So let me
That
just...
was Photoshop, Terry. You can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay.
And then the guy, he tried to belittle him. Like, yeah, I picked you. I'm trying to give you opportunity of a lifetime. I didn't know you, so, you know, I picked you to do this, you know, and now you're ruining it because, come on. You didn't see the picture where it said MS-13 on his hand? You didn't see that? Those were his tattoo. He does have those tattoos, but they don't, they're saying it means MS-13, but that's not founded yet. It hasn't been confirmed.
But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice.
You're not being nice. Why does the interviewer have the obligation to be nice to you, especially when you're fucking Trump?
MS-13 tattoo.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry.
Notice that Terry is trying to save him. He's like, I want to move on. I don't want to get stuck on this because you look like a fucking idiot, but let's move on. I don't want to talk about this no more. And he keeps trying to talk about it.
Do you want me to show you the
Look
picture?
how he looked at
We'll
him.
agree to
He like,
disagree.
hey, he looked him in his eyes like, motherfucker, is you stupid? Like,
I want to move on.
Hey, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to
Terry.
move on
We'll
to
agree to
something
disagree.
Terry. Do you want...
fam. Terry said, nigga, stop. Like, I'm trying to move on. Like, oh my God. Like, nigga, you think that this was really on his hand? I don't care. Bro, I bet you a 90-year-old can identify that, bro. If they had any experience with seeing pictures on computers, they can tell that that's... oh my God.
Want me to show you the picture?
And that just goes to show that either A, his staff, whoever did this shit, didn't tell him that was a translation, or he don't give a fuck and is just trying to say it and hope everybody believes it. That's all. There's people study what gang symbols mean and translated there. Look, there is books out on this. It's like, no, I'm not saying gangs don't have symbols, but there's no confirmation that those symbols on his hand is MS-13. I'm not saying gangs don't have symbols. It's just there's no. I looked up. I tried to look up what MS-13 gang signs are. I haven't seen those at all. I didn't see them in the slightest for their. But of course, there's only so much I could figure out. But I didn't see that those being any representation of gang. But again, AJ, even if it is, being in a gang is not illegal. Nor did that give him a reason to deport him, because that man in particular was ordered to stay in America. Those were his tattoos. He does have that on his hand. Those are his tattoos. Those were on his hand. I do think it's quite interesting that there is a tangential relationship to MS-13 and those. Like, if you technically, like, it kind of could be. It could be. I don't know. But for everything I saw, there's no confirmation. AJ, like, there's no confirmation that those are MS-13 tattoos.
I saw the picture. We'll
and you think it
agree
was
to disagree.
Photoshop? Well,
Here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He
Fair
had
enough.
MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them.
See?
I want to turn to Ukraine,
No,
sir.
Terry,
I want to get to
Terry,
Ukraine.
No. He had
He's stopping everything to get. He truly believes this. He truly believes this. If he doesn't, he's insane, and he thinks his audience is more dumb than he is. His audience is more dumb than he is.
MS, as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe.
Well,
Yeah, he did,
the news,
Serge.
because it's not interpreted.
Not
This is why
interpreted.
he had MS, as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They
Take
weren't
a look
there,
at the
but they're
photograph.
there now, right?
No.
They're in your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS.
He said Ukraine, sir. Like, let's get off of this shit. Like, can you believe how like, this is insane. I need to, maybe after this we'll go and see how MAGA is coping with this shit, because You want to talk about incompetent. There's no reason this grown old ass slob should be thinking Times New Roman MS-13 over a picture that's supposed to be a translation is actually tattooed on this man's knuckles. If any of y'all got any tweets or clips or anything of people defending this, please put them in my suggestion section of my Discord, please. No, AJ, I'm not saying you said it. I'm not saying you said it, but at least you can acknowledge how crazy this is. At least you can acknowledge how crazy this is. And I want to see if there's MAGAs that try to defend it. Snoop was repaying David Sachs for getting his OG out of prison. I wish he would say that, though, if that's the case.
13 on his knuckles.
They're in your picture.
Terry,
Ukraine, sir.
he's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
We'll
He's
take a
like,
look.
all right.
It's you do
We'll take a
such a
look.
disservice.
We'll take a look at
Look how serious he's pissed. He's pissed at this man defying him.
Why don't you just say, yes, he does, and, you know, go on to some...
Bitch, why you can't just say, all right, maybe I'm wrong and keep it going? Talking about why you can't just say yes and keep it going. Because he's not finna insult the intelligence of the people watching or lower his intellect to come to your level to please you. Fuck out of here. Talking about why you can't say yes and just let it go. Bitch, you should have did it.
It's contested. Ukraine.
Coming up, the Russia-Ukraine war
Don't
You
forget,
think he wants
this
peace?
is a...
You think Vladimir Putin wants peace?
and that historic meeting.
Fucking insane. Why you can't just say yes?
President Trump, the first 100 days.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
continues.
I want to turn, I was just in Rome, and to that moving photograph of you and President Zelensky sitting in St. Peter's Basilica talking peace. Went around the
No,
world.
I haven't, bro.
Take us into that moment.
Well, look, the Ukraine
Not
is a
on
very
his
serious,
lower
very
back.
tough situation. And this is Biden's war. This is not my war, but I
Biden.
want to see if I can solve it because
I just wonder
probably-
how long we could keep up blaming Biden for things. Like, he's gonna be doing this in year 4 if he makes it to year 4. Over and under on him making it 2 years fully healthy. I don't see him getting out of 2 years in full health, in the same, moving at the same clip as he is now. He's clearly slowed down a lot. And I'm not saying, like, I wish he gets unhealthy. I'm just saying, like, I just don't see him being able to withstand these 4 years in relatively good health. Get
close
health.
to 5,000 young soldiers a week are being killed, Russian and Ukrainian. We also spend a tremendous amount of money in Ukraine, and Europe should be spending much more than us. They're not. They're spending much less. It's been badly handled by the Biden administration. It's been badly handled all the way around, all the way around.
That
PTJ.
The
I know that's
moment
up your
was a
alley.
moment of solace, in a sense, because tremendous numbers of people are dying. A lot of his people are dying. They're being killed. And I feel very badly about it. I feel very badly about it. That's a war that would have never happened if I were president. And it
Can
didn't
you
happen.
stop saying that? Why does he, like, the level of, like, I don't like these women made me hate the word narcissist, but it's just like, for you to think that you could stop world conflicts by being president that was ongoing for years and years before you were president, this shit ain't just pop out of nowhere when Biden was president. Stop this. It would have never happened bullshit. There's no way for you to assess that.
For 4 years. It was never even a thought of it happening.
It does feel like something's happening after that meeting with Zelensky in St. Peter's. You posted this on social media. There was no reason for Putin to be shooting missiles into civilian areas and cities and towns over the last few days.
6%.
It makes me think that
That's
maybe,
Well,
pretty
that was
low.
part of my post, but you're right. That was a part of a post.
and it says it makes me
Well, early,
think
yes.
that maybe
It's
he
early,
doesn't
yes.
want to
I give him, if it were to happen, it would have to be after 2 years.
stop the war. He's just tapping me along.
Yeah, that's possible. Sure.
He might be.
He could be tapping me along a little bit. I would say that
Yeah, Lucas, I say the
he
same
would like
thing.
to stop the war. I
You
think
believe
that
that?
if it weren't for me, I think he'd want to take over the whole country personally. I always felt. So when I left, there wasn't even a chance that this would happen. When Biden got involved. I won't say whether or not he handled it properly, but obviously it wasn't good because the war started. Putin went in, the war started. I
don't even
believe
think
that
I'm logged
Putin
into
wanted
Blue
to
Sky
get
on my
all of
PC.
Ukraine once he went in. And I think part of the reason he went in, he saw what happened in Afghanistan, how incompetently Milley and all these guys
I don't
handled
feel like
that. It
I'm
was
not
one of
logged
the
in on my
greatest
PC, but that
embarrassments
shit funny as hell.
of our lifetimes, but maybe in the history of our country.
Yeah, I don't. Vance just seems so unserious. I feel like he would just be just holding that spot for whenever the next election would be. Vance, I don't see nobody taking him serious because once Trump is gone, MAGA is gonna be lost. They're gonna be lost. I don't see them. Shit, MTG, fuck out of here. Shit.
Okay. So Putin went in. I think Putin wanted all of Ukraine.
Right.
I think if I didn't win the election, he would have gotten all of Ukraine. I think he would have taken all of Ukraine. I think his first choice, never with me, he would have never gone in. With this group of losers, he went in, he saw what happened in Afghanistan.
Wait, did he just say
well,
Biden?
This is my chance. Because it was always the apple of his eye. I talked to him. Ukraine was in. With this group of losers, he went in. Never with me, he would have never gone in. With this group of losers, he went in, he saw what happened in Afghanistan. He said,
think
well,
he
this
said
is my
Byron.
chance. Because it was always the apple of his eye. I talked to him. Ukraine was the apple of his eye. I think he wanted the whole country.
You've said for
And
months
because
that-
of me, I do believe that
Yeah, yeah.
he's willing to stop the fighting. Don't
You
forget,
think he wants
this
peace?
is a
You think Vladimir Putin wants peace?
I think he does, yes. I think
Still.
he does. I think
Even
because
with the
of
raining
me,
missiles
I
on.
think he really his dream was to take over.
They don't
the
have
whole
somebody to
country.
lead them.
I think because of me, he's not going to do that.
Do you trust
I
him?
think
That's
Do you
the only
trust him?
thing I don't know.
trust you. I don't trust. I don't trust.
I don't trust you. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Answer the question. Do you trust them? You can say I don't really know. I'm not gonna say I trust them. Why do you have to bring him into
I
it?
think
Do you trust him?
I don't trust you. I don't trust a lot of people. I don't trust you. Look at you. You come in all shooting for bear. You're so happy to do the interview.
I am
And then
happy.
you start hitting me with fake questions. He's such
Fake questions? He's asking you real legitimate questions. Look at Terry. He's like, this man just cannot deal with any pushback. Bro, you are 70-something years old. You was too well, granted, he's probably been around Yes Men his whole life. Bro, you're asking me fake questions. No, motherfucker, you think Times New Roman was tattooed on a man's hand. Stop. Cut it.
tell me that a guy whose hand is covered
All
with
right,
a
we're back to
tattoo doesn't have the tattoo, you know.
all right.
I mean, you're being dishonest.
No, I'm not.
Let me
No, I
just
am
tell
not.
you, I don't trust a lot of people. But I do think this. I think that let's say he respects me. And I believe because of me, he's not going to take over the whole. But his decision, his choice would be to take over all of Ukraine. It's a war that never should have happened. It did
Please stop
happen because
saying
of
that.
incompetent people.
Last question on this.
But it never should have happened.
If there's no
Okay.
peace deal, will the U.S. cut off military aid to Ukraine?
I don't want to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you whether or not I would or not. I want to leave that as a big fat secret because
A
I don't
big
want
fat
to ruin a
secret.
negotiation. But
I'd be worried
I
if
will
I were
tell you, I
Ukrainian.
was not happy when I saw Putin shooting missiles into a few towns and cities.
The problem is these questions aren't hard. It's the fact that he's so dishonest, he can't handle normal questions. Like, for all the shit Kamala got, did she ever attack the interviewer? When she did Brett Baer, did she attack Brett Baer? Did she attack his career or say, I don't know you or you're a lowlife? Did she belittle him because he asked her questions that were difficult? No. She was ready for that shit and had something for his ass when he asked him. And even when he tried to, I don't know if it was his fault or the production's fault, when they played that damn clip that had nothing to do with what he was saying and what she was addressing, she said, that is not the clip where he said, well, I forgot what the moment was, but I'm like, she was ready for him. But she didn't attack the interviewer. He's straight up attacking this man because he's asking him questions.
And that was not something that I like seeing, and I thought it was inappropriate. But I think the whole war is inappropriate.
Okay.
Again, it's a war that shouldn't have happened. This war is a war that if the election weren't rigged,
Yeah,
and it was
I hope
totally
Hegseth
rigged,
is next.
The 2020 election, if it weren't rigged, you wouldn't have that. You wouldn't have had the
And he's
embarrassment
still talking about the election being rigged.
of Afghanistan. You wouldn't have October 7th with Israel. you wouldn't.
You
have
just
been-
so he just thinks that because he's president, nobody's gonna attack anybody, and Joe Biden is the bane of all evil.
20 election. If it weren't rigged, you wouldn't have that. You wouldn't have had the embarrassment of Afghanistan. You wouldn't have
The
October
plan that you
7th
set
with
out.
Israel. You wouldn't have had any of the problems that you have right now.
I wanna ask one
And
question.
You wouldn't have had
Terry is not entertaining any of this shit. He said, "Thank you." He is not giving a fuck about none of that shit.
inflation either.
All right, I want to ask one question about Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. There's a lot of turmoil at the Pentagon right now. There's the signal chat with his wife on it where he's discussing that attack in Yemen. There's another signal chat discussing the attack on Yemen. There's a reporter accidentally involved. You said the other day that you had a talk with the secretary. Did you take him to the woodshed?
I had a talk with him, and whatever I said, I probably wouldn't be inclined to tell you. But we had a good talk. He's a talented guy. He's young, he's smart, highly educated, and I think he's
No, MDL, did you see that he was on? This isn't like as egregious as the signal, but he's on Twitter like, "Iran, we see you still doing the nuclear weapons or whatever. We see you and we just know what we're capable of." I'm like, bro, get us out the fucking group chat. Nobody asked for you to threaten Iran on Twitter. Stop. Calm down. Why do you have to tell everybody everything, bro? You're telling your mama shit, your brother, your wife, the fucking reporters. Shut the fuck up and get on a skiff. Like, dude, why you keep telling everybody all the military business, bro? Why? What? Look what we're gonna do next. Like, bro, calm the fuck down. Shut up. Like, I'm not saying, like, I know that that's not as serious as the signal shit, putting it on X, but it's still like, why are you antagonizing another nation on X? Like, you don't look tough. You look goofy. That shit don't look tough.
going to be a very good defense, hopefully a great defense secretary, but he'll be a very good defense secretary.
You have
maybe great.
100% confidence in
I don't
Pete
have
Hegseth.
100% confidence in anything. Okay, anything.
But you show was like, I'm going to end the war on day one. I'm going to make prices go down on day one. I'm going to make this the best he can. Talking about you act like everything 100% if you in control.
Do I have 100%? It's a stupid question.
He's steady talking about some stupid question. It's your fucking defense secretary. Now you don't want to back him because he's in some hot shit. I bet you had all the confidence in the world before scandals came.
Look,
It's a pretty important
I
position.
have no.
So it's a
no.
pretty important position.
You don't have 100%.
Did he say no?
Look,
It's a pretty important
I
position.
have no. You don't have 100%. Only a liar would say I have 100% confidence. I don't have 100%.
That's not a lie. It's just how you feel. Nobody would say you're lying if you have 100% confidence in somebody and then something goes wrong. That's not a lie, you fucking idiot. All you're saying is, I really do trust this person, and it's not necessarily a knock on you. It'll be a knock on you because we know you're a liar and you just surround yourself by yes men, and you know that y'all some fucking goofies, so that's why you can't say it, because you know Hegseth's a fuck up.
100% confidence that we're going to finish this interview.
We will.
Let's go.
Oh, hey, we need some. Hey, this man Terry is not playing with him. Oh my God. He said, I don't know if we're going to finish this interview. He said, we will. And then Trump like, God damn, this motherfucker know what to say.
You don't have 100%. Only a liar would say I have 100% confidence. I don't have 100% confidence that we're going to finish this interview.
We will.
Let's go.
Bro, he smirked with it too. He smirked with it.
Only a liar would say
We will.
I have 100% confidence.
Trump
I don't
said
have
this.
100% confidence that we're going to finish this interview.
He wanted to walk off, but he couldn't. He looked bad if he walked off.
We will.
Hey, bro, I
Coming
can't
up,
watch that shit
President
enough.
Trump on Elon Musk and Doge.
Did Doge
Oh,
go
man,
too
we
far,
will.
too fast, too
Oh,
reckless?
God. Oh,
President
man.
Trump, the first 100
Hey,
days.
give Terry a promotion, man.
Elon Musk and Doge.
Dow, I gotta
Everyone
figure out
knows
why fucking
that there's
YouTube
waste-
won't. It keeps hiding. If y'all like curse in the chat, like y'all see it showing up on the screen, but it won't be in the chat, and it's pissing me off. I don't know why. Dow, I'm gonna make you a mod. If you if you can see messages people send when they curse and shit, I want you to accept it. Because I'm so sick of them doing that shit.
Government spending, it's really important. But the cuts have had some serious consequences. There have been cuts to foreign aid programs that save lives and keep people alive overseas. There's been research at the National Institutes of Health on cancer, on Alzheimer's, that has had to be stopped. And the question I think people have is, did Doge go too far, too fast, too reckless?
No, I think Doge has been, look, saved $150 billion. We saved, that's a lot of money. There's also a lot of things right now under investigation.
It ain't whatever, $1 trillion or whatever the fuck you said.
Which is going to increase that amount by a lot. That's a tremendous amount of money. There are some things
now, why didn't give you the...
When I heard about them, I put them back, as you know. There are things that I'm considering
give you
right now
the
putting
wrench?
back. But overall, we've saved hundreds of billions of dollars.
Well, the original promise was $2 trillion, went to $1 trillion, now to $150
Harry
billion.
gonna be on his knees at CCOT by Sunday.
No, you don't know what it's going to be because we have things that are at a very high level that are being.
So yeah, let me know if it shows messages when people curse and if you can accept it or not, because I'm so sick of this.
That right now, we also found we're considering right now putting back, but overall we've saved hundreds of billions of dollars.
Well, the original promise was $2 trillion, went to $1 trillion, now to $150 billion, and heading south.
You don't know what it's going to be because we have things that are at a very high level that are being looked at right now. We also found tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse, as you know. We found a lot of fraud. There was a lot of fraud. Fraudulent things were taking place, and we ended that, and those people are going to be suffering because of it.
A legal note, fraud is a crime. There have been no referrals to the Justice Department on any of
Well,
this.
you don't know that, do you? How do you know that?
This motherfucker is pissed. Holy shit. Oh, man. You don't know that. How do you know that?
Have there been referrals to the, are there criminal
How
referrals?
would you know that?
And now he finna harp on this.
I think there were
They
referrals.
generally, all right, there's been no investigation from the
How do
Justice
you know
Department.
that?
I'm asking you, sir.
No, you're not asking me. You made a statement. You're not
Now
asking
I'm
me.
asking you.
That was a
Yeah, Serge, that's the thing too. He's saying withheld. That don't mean that it's never gonna get returned. Withheld just means it gotta be looked at. It don't mean y'all saved it indefinitely.
statement that you made. There have
I'm
been.
asking you.
Have there been? Yes, there have.
So there have been referrals for fraud from the
Of
work
course
of
there have
Doge.
been. Take a look at some of these
All right,
things that
all
took
right,
place.
all right.
Billions of dollars we give it to people for no reason whatsoever. Of
Okay.
course there have
I
been.
want to bring up what is truly one of, to a lot of people, one of the biggest achievements of your first term. That is Operation Warp Speed. You got that COVID vaccine.
Ooh, look what he brought up. I bet you Trump don't fucking acknowledge it.
Up and going and distributed, and a lot of people took it, and a lot of people feel their lives have
PTJ.
been saved by it. Now we have this measles outbreak, biggest in a decade.
Is that
in
Spanish,
Texas, and
Terry?
it's because people aren't getting their children vaccinated.
Where are your parents from, Terry?
Do you recommend to parents that they get their children vaccinated for measles?
Well, I recommend the governors to make the decisions. You have a very talented governor.
Notice he can't brag about Operation Warp Speed. If he brought up any other thing that Trump deems noteworthy, he would ramble on about it. Even when he brings up shit that he don't need to ramble on, he finds a way to big himself up. He just brought up Operation Warp Speed, something that Trump should definitely be proud of, and he just blows past it and says nothing. Yeah, you know, COVID was killing millions millions of people, you know. It was very bad. The economy was bad, but I got us Operation Warp Speed, the fastest vaccine we've ever made known to man. Which honestly is the truth, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it was a new fucking type of vaccine, which that's a big accomplishment. And you can't say anything about it. That's fucking pathetic. That's sad. One thing he can't actually brag about, he can't, because it's his fucking stupid ass base.
Of Texas, and he's making decisions.
Yeah, somebody
and those
drop an
decisions
F-bomb
are gonna
in the
be
chat.
made
Oh, there you go.
rapidly.
Said,
This
fuck
is a
yeah.
very much different thing than COVID in terms of rapidity and speed and other things. Measles have been with us a long time.
See, it's not in the
and
chat.
I'm
Is
not
it giving you the
saying
chance
good,
to
bad, or
see it?
indifferent. I'm just saying that the governors are making the decision. It's a federal decision.
Y'all funny.
The president is our leader in so many ways, and your voice counts so much. And you can't tell moms and dads Yeah, it's a good thing to get a measles
Do
vaccine.
I recommend it?
Yes.
Yes, I do. I
Okay.
recommend it, yeah.
Why he couldn't just say that off rip?
That
Do
was
I
my
mandate
question.
it? No.
No, I didn't
But I
ask.
do recommend it, yes.
Good. Do you think
And I have recommended it.
Do you think the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has a
don't
history
know why it does this.
of, at the very least, vaccine skepticism,
Oh, here we go.
do you think Kennedy recommends the measles
He
vaccine?
did. He did. He recommended it.
The live chat.
he-
Okay,
he was
I did it for
satisfied
my
with
regular videos instead of live. Let's try it now.
Yeah, I mean, he
Response on this?
recommended that they go out and get the vaccine.
I changed it for live chat.
Still ahead.
I'm
I
asking
changed the setting.
the justification for going after people you don't like.
President Trump.
Okay.
The first 100
So what
days
happens if you show?
continues.
I want to talk a little bit about presidential power, the powers that you have in the presidency temporarily that the American people have given you, right? You've revoked a lot of people's security clearances. You've revoked people's security details who are still threatened, with death threats. You've gone after
Yeah,
law
AJ, we
firms
agree. That's
because
exactly what's
they've
gonna happen.
employed people you don't like, or they have represented people
Well,
you
they
don't
obviously agreed because they paid me a lot of money.
like. Well, the reason they agreed is because you were.
Yeah, this dude is a good interviewer. See, you approved it, but it's still not showing up in the YouTube chat itself. Like, the reason it's on my screen is because you use a third-party thing for that. That's not the YouTube on my screen, which is how I get to see that. But if I didn't have that, I wouldn't see none of y'all messages where y'all be like going crazy. But I want that to be in the chat so it can be seen if people just looking at the chat instead of the screen.
Threatening to destroy their business.
But it
with
still
your
didn't. You
executive
approved
order
it, but
that
it's
said you
still
can't
not showing up
represent
in the
clients for
chat.
federal
These are
government. That's
these
their
are
bread and
big
butter.
boys. These are the biggest, most powerful lawyers. These are not
You
people
got a lot of
that are
leverage as
easily
president.
intimidated.
As president, you
Yeah,
got
this
it.
is crazy. What?
Government, that
He's talking about the
destroy
lawyers.
Their business, the reason or threats. You've gone after law firms because they've employed people you don't like, or they have represented people
Well,
you
they
don't
obviously
like.
agreed because they paid me a lot of money.
Well, the reason they agreed is because you were threatening to destroy their business with your executive order that said you can't represent clients for the federal
These are
government. That's
these
their
are
bread and
big
butter.
boys. These are the biggest, most powerful lawyers.
talking
These are
about
not
big
people
You got
boys.
a lot of
that
leverage
are
as
easily
president.
intimidated.
As president, you got all the cards.
I mean, they paid hundreds of millions of dollars because they felt, I guess, they probably felt they did something wrong.
It was for survival.
So y'all can see the curse words. Okay, maybe they, you know what? That's crazy. I think YouTube is probably trying to protect me as a creator because they're not showing me when people curse in the chat. I can't see, like when I'm looking at my YouTube, the back office of YouTube is not showing me when y'all curse. And y'all can all see it. That's crazy. They like, we don't want you to get upset. I don't know why I can't see it.
Sir.
No, it isn't.
You're
No,
crushing their business.
These firms are very powerful firms, and there's 15 of them. And these are firms that probably, look, you have to ask them. In fact, this is a separate story. You have to ask them, why did you all pay Trump hundreds of millions of dollars in services, etc.? Why did you do
Okay.
that?
I see
don't
y'all.
know.
You don't
Okay,
think
I
that-
see
in
you
fact,
We
now.
have a clause in the
I had to
thing
change
that
something.
while we admit no wrongdoing, but it's like one of those things. And now I'm friendly with those firms, but it's, these are the most powerful firms in the world. And they just signed whatever I put in front of them. I've never seen anything
Yeah, it's
like it.
another setting.
I'm actually surprised myself in a certain way. But they obviously felt they
Now I can
probably
see it.
did something wrong. I guess that's why
I had
they
to change the
signed.
setting.
I guess the question out of that is the concern that people have. Are you using your powers as president to get personal revenge?
No.
Let's go. He is asking the good questions. Let's go. Yes. These are good questions and not a dick suck fest.
I'll tell you what. You're really not asking, and you should be asking.
Watch him avoid this question completely. Let's watch it play out. He's going to avoid the fuck out of that.
Are you using your power? I guess the question out of that is the concern that people have. Are you using your powers as president to get personal revenge?
No, I'll tell you what. You're really not asking, and you should be asking. There has never been a president in this country, in the history, that was persecuted like I was persecuted by really crooked people.
Now he finna bitch again because he's a perpetual victim. What you really should be asking is, why am I persecuted for committing crimes and trying to go against laws and trying to throw away the Constitution and fucking a hot thought before while I was having my next child? All this shit. Why am I being persecuted? Bitch, you're the most fucking immoral, indecent president we've ever had, probably. That's why. You're a piece of shit. And you should know that. So stop acting like it's just coming out of nowhere.
Dishonest, horrible people,
MDL.
and it's been proven. So when you say I'm treating people rough, I'm not treating people rough. I was treated worse.
He said using your power for, is that even what he said? Treating people bad? He said you're using your power, basically taking advantage of the power he has.
Worse than any president in the history of our country.
But you're acting like you didn't do anything. You literally got convicted of 34 felonies. You were a liable sexual abuser, bro. Why are you acting like you just did nothing to be persecuted?
And, you know, people figured, well, maybe that's it. Finally, we got, you know, he's leaving town. There goes the helicopter.
Trump's use of Alien Enemies Act for Venezuelan deportation is unlawful, judge rules.
And then I came back.
Just got that notification.
And I came back because I have tremendous support. You know, when you win an election like I wanted, and you
Oh my God, so now let's brag about myself again. Are you fucking kidding me?
all 7 swing states. I won the popular vote. I won 700.
Like, are we gonna want to hear this for 4 years? Are you gonna be doing this in 3 years? I won every other swing states. We won the popular vote. Everything was red. We even could have won California if they didn't cheat. I know they didn't, and we're still getting the proof on that. California should have been red.
Let's see, 2,750
Respect
districts
these nuts,
compared to
nigga.
500 districts. That's why the map is all red. And those people feel that I was treated unfairly.
But is that
I bet you a lot of people, a lot of laymen don't even know about half the shit you did or the extent of it.
give you the right to go after your political opponents with the powers of this office?
I'm going after, all I'm doing, hey, Biden did something to me.
It says, Trump's use of Alien Enemies Act for Venezuelan deportations is unlawful, judge rules. Judge Rodriguez rules Trump's use of Alien Enemies Act unlawful. ACLU says Congress didn't intend wartime law to be used in peacetime. Supreme Court says migrants must be able to contest deportations in court. I agree. He needs to stop bitching. I do understand why he is bitching. Let's agree, disagree. That's a different topic. Also, we got you. Understand? Stop me. Yeah, I mean, he said Biden.
Me going after, all I'm doing, hey, Biden did something to me.
But like,
And I
come
did
on,
something to
don't that
Biden.
sound like a 5-year-old? Well, but my 6-year-old daughter says stuff like that, but she did it first. With her sister, she'd be like, but she did it first. You know, like, come on, Biden did something to me. Bro, you are 80 years old. Oh my God.
Biden did something to me.
Hey, that's going on the soundboard, bro. That's going on the soundboard. That's going on the soundboard. Holy shit.
All I'm doing, hey, Biden did something to me, and I did something to Biden. And you know why I did it? Because he's grossly incompetent. That's not a man that should be allowed to, you know, be looking at things that are very confidential.
But what about
Because he didn't?
Biden did
Here's a man that
something
used
to
an oil
me.
pen to sign very important documents. Now,
He took this
here's a
fucking
man
pen?
to, you know, be looking at things that are very confidential.
But what about-
Because he
there's
didn't?
71
Here's a
people you
man that
revoked
used
it.
an auto pen to sign.
Bro, why do you keep talking about Biden? You finna talk about this stupid auto pen shit, and the man asks you, are you using your power for nefarious reasons?
Very important documents. Now, who really is, do you think he knew what?
Even if, let's say this shit is true, why would he be sitting here talking to you about that? You're the president that's tanking the economy right now, and you're talking about Biden and an auto pen. Even if that was true, let that be talked with Biden. You ain't got shit to do with it. Shut the fuck up. Damn, I'd have muted the shit.
I mean, he used an auto pen to
Where on
sign
the dog did
very,
Biden touch
very
you?
important documents. And So those are really the questions you should be asking. What do you think of the Autopen? Who wielded the Autopen? Because whoever that person was, think of it, whoever the person that wielded the Autopen, he was really the president of the United
This
States.
is so bizarre. The man asks, are you using your power for a nefarious reason? I forgot the exact verbiage. But basically, are you using your powers for bad? And he's talking about Biden in this fake Autopen story he made up.
I don't think that Biden knew anything about
There you
it.
go. Yeah.
But you
I'm
are
gonna
the
put,
president
if he,
now, and I'm
I
asking
can't keep up, man.
the justification
I can't
for
keep
going
up.
after people you don't like.
No.
Oh, that's
People
Taylor.
that
Come
have the
on, you cooking
justification
now.
for going on. But you are the president now. And I'm
Yes,
asking-
yes. Let's talk about you and the president and taking the economy.
He was really the president of the United States because
You are
I
the
don't
president,
think
right.
I don't think that Biden
You
knew
are the
anything
president.
about it.
Fair enough. But you are the president now, and I'm asking.
Thank you.
The justification for going after people you don't like.
Go on, you got him right back on point. Let's fucking go. Shit. Get this man a raise, man.
No.
That
People
is-
that I
Come
think
on,
are
no.
dishonest. It's not that I don't even know most of them.
What?
No.
That
People
is-
that I think are dishonest. It's
Wait,
not-
so people are dishonest. That means you jail them and you threaten them? Even if they are dishonest, you threaten people and jail them? Are they doing something
I
illegal?
don't even know most of them. They're people that I
These
think
people
are
made you
dishonest.
angry.
Yes.
It's not anger. These are people that I think are very dishonest. I don't think they're worthy of being able to go into top secret information. I think that's fine. And Biden did that.
You the one that tried to run off with top secret information. This man, every accusation is a confession. Jesus Christ.
With many of our people. But when you look at it, these are people that I don't think are worthy. That's my decision. It's not a question of anger.
What does being worthy have to do with you threatening their livelihoods?
I understand you just had a phone call with the new Canadian premier, and they just had this election.
Yeah.
That he cost them? Donald Trump single-handedly flipped the whole Canadian election. That's crazy.
Big issue in it. And Canadians, many of them, are really angry, furious about
Did he say
your
Biden?
talk about we're going to take over Canada, it's going to become the 51st
That's
state.
their prerogative.
And it kind of is of a piece. A lot of travel is down into the United States from around the world. It
We're doing
feels
great.
like there's been
Talking about we're doing
reputational
great.
Country's
damage.
doing great.
Well,
Prices are down.
not the tourism
Gasoline's down. Energy's down. Tourism is going to be way up. Wait till you see the numbers. The tourism is way up.
No, you wait. First it was gonna be up, then he said it is up. And why would it go up? Nobody wants to come here. You're ruining everything. Of course we don't have nobody coming.
Now Canada.
That's Terry like, no, it's not. It's
way
down.
up. Wait till you see the numbers. The tourism is way up.
Not now.
Now Canada.
He said not
tourism's
now.
Doing very well. We're doing very well. We're doing very well.
I would love to have this. If only if words could manifest into tangible things. My God, I would love this country and I would want Trump to always be president. If words manifested to the actuality of things, Jesus, I would be MAGA. If words just manifested truth, man, I don't think Trump will have any issues in life. But God damn it, these words are just meaning shit.
You see the real numbers come out in 6 months from now. When you see the numbers.
But do you
They're gonna
think,
be
I'm going to
very
ask you,
good.
if I may, do you think the reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency?
No, I think it's gone way up, and I think we're a respected country
my
again.
God.
We were laughed at all over the world. We had a president that couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, couldn't walk down a flight of stairs, couldn't walk across a stage without falling. We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news.
All right.
I swear to God, they just overplay this Biden stuff. Like he was too old to run for president again. I agree. He should not be president. He shouldn't have even tried to run a second term. But the man is just slow and old. He's not like demented. He's still like, I just love how he's so incompetent and can't do anything, yet he's still giving. He gave like 2-3 speeches after the debate. He's still like, that was a terrible debate and he shouldn't have ran for president at all. I don't care. He shouldn't have ran for president. But Joe Biden still was giving speeches after he had that badass debate. He's not out of his mind. He's just old and slow and has some good days and has some bad days. He shouldn't be president for sure, but that doesn't mean he wasn't unaware of what was happening around him. I don't believe that. And for them, they keep you tried to cover it up. You guys cover it up. I don't think it was a cover up. He was good enough to finish out that term. I don't know where wires got crossed that he thought he should run again. That shouldn't have never happened. But I think he was perfectly fine to finish his damn term. Like you know what I'm saying? Like all that extra shit, like acting like he needs to be in some old folks home. I'm not buying that. He needs to retire and relax and ride it out with Hunter and his wife and just be smooth. Like don't stress yourself out no more with politics. You at the end of the road, dog. Just, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
And by the way, ABC is one of the worst. I have to be honest with you.
Thank you.
This is a child. Like, come on. This is a child. This is a fucking child. I cannot believe he just took the time to do that. Like, the end of the interview, you made it, you're pissed. Yeah, by the way, ABC's the worst. Like, that's like you kick somebody and run off, like as a child again. You kick them in the knee and run. You gotta be kidding me.
Thank you.
And by the way, ABC is one of the worst. I have to be honest with you.
Thank you for the opinion, but more importantly,
And
thank you.
Terry don't
for
give
having
a
us ask
fuck.
One more question. It's a big one.
This man
It's
the
a question that
MVP.
You know a lot of.
This man is the MVP. Thank you for your opinion, but we got one more question. Holy shit, that's embarrassing. By the way, ABC's the worst. Like, you just had to say that? Like, that was eating up at you, wasn't it?
People have out there. What do you say to people who are concerned you are seizing too much power and becoming an authoritarian president?
Come on for these questions.
No, I would hate them to think that. I'm doing one thing. I'm making America great again. We have a country that was failing.
Slogans,
We have a
slogans,
country that was
slogans,
left out
slogans, 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 slogans.
all over the world. We had a leader
Insanes.
that was grossly incompetent. He should have never been there. The election was rigged. He should have never been there. Our country suffered greatly, and now our country's coming back like nobody can believe. I have editorials just today where they're saying they've
It's
never seen
deflating
anything
him.
like it. They love it. Our country's coming back, and we're respected again.
Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you, Terry, very much.
Once again, we want to thank President Trump for inviting
Hey,
us
I
to the
need
White
this
House.
man Terry to
100
get a
days
raise,
in his second
man.
term.
He need
I'm
a
Terry
bonus for
Moran.
that.
From all of us at ABC News.
Oh,
Thank
man.
you for watching. Good night.
That's the best interviewer I've seen against Trump. Why is this playing?
Hi, Rachel.
Shut up. God damn, she has some big ass titty. But
Hi, hey Brian.
Stop,
Long time
stop.
No see. Glad-
shut the hell up. Okay. Man, Terry need a goddamn raise. That man did what the fuck was supposed to be done. He understood the goddamn assignment. Oh man. That was great. Oh, but the ABC sucks was ridiculous. I can't believe he just had to. By the way, ABC is the worst. Dude, just do the interview. It's almost over. Damn, Terry got in his ass. That was the coup de grace. That's embarrassing if you support Trump. Like, that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. I'm sorry. Oh my God, Terry need a bonus.